It's timestamp August 18th, 2024. Coming up on noon, I think, something like that. Pix and I are kind of back on the schedule we're supposed to be on. So we got up at like 3, 4 in the morning. We should be getting up earlier than that, like midnight. Working overnights when we work, so makes for a weird day. Noon is, when we're having dinner and a couple hours away from getting ready for bed. So if we're in bed by 2 p.m., we're not power slacking. It's just the schedule that we need to be on to maintain our work schedule. It's a thing. It's weird. Well, we walked in the sun a lot this past week. I have an amazing bronzing going on, if you can see that really well. People are really going to think I'm Puerto Rican now. That happens a lot. Which is okay, but funny to me because I'm like incredibly German heritage-wise. I'm almost full-blooded German. I've got a little bit of Czech. But we're in Hillsborough County, and 9 times out of 10, the Spanish-speaking people here think that I am Puerto Rican or Cubano, or it's a thing. It amuses me. Occasionally it makes me mad, but that's usually just when I say, I don't speak Spanish, and the response I get is, it's like, do you speak German? Sorry, I wasn't raised in a Spanish household. But, that would be a jinx. It's like something furry just touched my leg. There's a bunch of stuff it could be. I'm hoping it's one of the cats. We did a lot of walking. Got Alex to a doctor's appointment, which is good. We're trying to get everybody back on track as far as like medical, dental, and all that. This past year and a half has just been lunacy. I'm making coffee right now. Got some Harry and David butterscotch caramel going on, which it's yummy. But yeah, this past year and a half we've had to cancel and postpone so many appointments. It's just beyond dumb. We're trying to be responsible parents. I mean, Alex is 22, but he's autistic, so we've got to be his advocates. He's not incompetent. He's actually incredibly intelligent, but socially awkward, and his focus is a little complicated. But fun fact, at least in Florida, I don't know if it's a thing elsewhere in the country, but Florida being special, I'm willing to bet it's something that's predominantly here and not necessarily the other, 49 states, which might be other 51 states in the near future, because I'm seeing some push for DC and Puerto Rico to become states, which would be pretty cool. Although Puerto Rico, there are some weird legal potholes, so I don't know if Puerto Rico actually wants it or not, because I think there's some it's weird. The federal government has some stuff levied against them to where if they become a state, suddenly they have to make payment or some kind of reparation or something or other. I saw some stuff on it. John Oliver did a bit on it a while back, and I remember thinking, yeah, Puerto Rico become a state, that's cool. Ooh, maybe they don't want to. Yeah. But I think it would be cool from they've earned it if they want it, and I would love to see the federal government maybe bend some rules and or forgive some loans or whatever it is that's going on down there. Just because they don't necessarily get a lot of representation. They just get the occasional billionaire who comes to town after a crisis and throws paper towels at people. Thanks. But DC should be a state. It should have been a state for a while now. I mean, I know the former rules were the whole, it's got government buildings and therefore you can't put that in a state because it gives the state too much power, blah, blah, blah. It's not really a thing anymore. 100 years ago, that might have been a problem. Today, no, in the world of mass communications and the internet and all that, it doesn't make the state of Washington, D.C. suddenly the national superpower state. It's not a thing. It's not something you have to worry about. And from a purely political standpoint, it might give us like 4 more Democratic senators, which would be pretty cool. DC, you can almost guarantee would be Democratic. Puerto Rico, hell, I'd be happy if we got, one out of Puerto Rico and the other was Republican. Okay, I'll take it. Because that can change. Might give them a little bit more say at the dinner table too, which would be good. I've a lot of Puerto Rican friends. So, yeah, I think it would be great for them as a people, frankly. As long as they can come to an arrangement with the federal government to make everything else even out, that would be cool. But, so back on the other subject, we're trying to get everybody back on track, medical, dental-wise. And we made some really good contacts on Friday. We got Alex in for an appointment. One of the office manager type people there called me while I was in the lobby, like on the phone. It was kind of ridiculously, humorously awkward. Then she came out and found me, and I found her, and she gave us paperwork to basically get some of this SSI back under control. Oh, what I was going to say, in the state of Florida, I don't know if it's this way everywhere or not, but when he turned 18, we pretty much had to start over in the respect of he's an adult now, not a child, and therefore all of his old diagnoses go away. So it was like, oh, according to the state, it almost seemed like he was cured of autism, when he turned 18. It's like, no, there was no autism fairy that came along and went, poof, you're a normal boy. And by the way, I don't mean that disparagingly. My kid is different, and I'm okay with that. He's not normal, but at the same time, what is normal anyway? And I don't know, I'm proud of my kid. He's got some talents and stuff going on in his head. He thinks very differently than everybody else, which, hell, so do I. Not in the same way, but, me, abnormal children? What's that about? But while we were out and about, we also, arranged some dental stuff. Tiny's got some root canals that need to get done, and that's kind of a big deal because pain. He's been sucking down a lot of Tylenols lately, and that's not necessarily good for the liver. Anyway, 17. The bright side is, because he's 17, there's a lot of stuff we can get done that's not going to be a huge amount of out-of-pocket, because he still qualifies for certain government things. So we're going to try and... He turns 18 in January, so we're going to try and plow through as many of those things as we can before he turns 18. But we made really positive connections there. We've got to get him there at the clinic Monday morning. It's Sunday now. It's Sunday afternoon, or about to be Sunday afternoon. We've got to get him there Monday morning at opening, which would be complicated, but we're going to kind of do a workaround. He's going to come with us to work. We're walking still because we haven't gotten a call back from the transmission place. There's so much we haven't talked about. So he's going to walk with us to work and just hang out in the break room, which, with the world of electronics, he has his phone with him. He'll be fine. He's always got something going on. So he's just going to camp out and wait for us to get done with our shift, and then we're going to walk over to the clinic. It's not too far away from where we work. And then on the way home, there's an Access, which is kind of the like food stamp, Medicaid, Medicare, Florida, whatever. There's an Access office that has just opened up on our route, which is great because I've been trying to make contact with them, and I got a denial letter on Friday, actually, saying that I didn't conduct my phone interview, which is true, I didn't. The problem with that response, which angers me, actually, is that I called and left 3 voicemails within the time frame and never got a call back to do my phone interview. So that's kind of annoying. You know, getting accused of not having follow through when you followed through, it's the other person that didn't follow through. That's really awesome. But it's typical Florida government stuff too. You get used to it after a while. They purposely make it difficult. It's annoying. Just trying to make it through this mud, guys. And I keep, health-wise, I still feel good. You know, can draw a pretty deep breath. I do cough every now and then, but everyone coughs every now and then. I don't have that, you know, like tremendous smoker cough when you get up in the morning. I've seen people like that. I've dated people like that back in the day. You know, where, 5 minutes of I don't have that going on. You know, I'm not having the tremendous fatigue or any of the other, like, emphysema symptoms. So, still, again, that's part of what I'm doing right now is keeping a living record, so to speak, because it is frustrating. There's quite a few different channels on YouTube that I've checked out because I'm like, oh, okay, this is a COPD thing. The person that runs this has COPD, and they'll have videos from 2020 and 2021, and then suddenly there's no more videos, and it's like, okay, well, shit, did you die? What happened? Where are you? That's a little unnerving. Oh, I'm doing great, I'm working out, I'm eating right, I'm feeling really good, and then no more videos, and it's like, okay, did something change? Did everything go sideways? What? Did your camera break? I don't understand why aren't you transmitting anymore? Should I be concerned? Is that going to happen to me? I know it seems paranoid, but, I was diagnosed with a disease that is terminal. I'm allowed to be a little edgy on that. Other bright side, I love this coffee. I'm at 1.5 cigars a day, down from 2, so that's pretty cool. I managed to reduce a little bit there. Obviously, the goal is no cigars a day. Using the Gorf mug today. Again, probably at least one of my 3 favorite arcade games from the 80s. Gauntlet, Gorf. It's tough. Because there were a lot that I played back in the day. Super Contra, Rolling Thunder, several pinballs. I don't normally play racing games or whatnot, but I always liked off-road. It's like these monster trucks. You have a turbo nitrous button you can push, and it's just crazy stupid fun. It can be a 3-player game. It's like a red, a yellow, and a blue steering wheel. It's an interesting design as far as cabinet video games concerned. But anyway, the X-Men game, there's a bunch of stuff. But yeah, Gorf and Gauntlet, probably my two biggies. I have to really think about that as far as like what my number 3 game would be at like arcade 80s kind of thing. That's a thought question. I'll work on that one. But yeah, I'm gonna be making some fish and veggies here in a minute because we're coming up on dinner time at noon. I know it's weird. Get some sleep. Did some work in the kitchen today. Pix was doing a lot of stuff with like packing some boxes here and there, consolidating, going through some crap. Just trying to get our world together. I keep feeling like I'm going to be getting that phone call lately. It's got me on edge. You know, it's weird. Just with I talked to my mom a couple days ago, and she said that Dad still got a cough that won't quite go away. He's had it for a couple months now, and he's on a nebulizer now, but it doesn't seem to be helping. So, you know, I keep thinking I'm going to get that phone call, or, you know, I'm going to wake up to a knock at the door. Pasco County Sheriff. You know, that kind of thing. Just feel like it's on the horizon, like right around the corner kind of thing. It's hard to explain with everything that we've been through with my parents over the past year and a half, 2 years. I mean, that may make sense if you've been there, or maybe you can just relate with it. It's really strange place to be. It is causing me a little bit of anxiety. I mean, they're so connected at the hip. And this is going to sound awful. I don't mean it to sound like callous or whatnot. It's after everything we went through last year, I've come to a place of acceptance of it, even though I don't like it. We kind of feel that if something happens to my mom, if a health event happens, my dad's probably, if he witnesses it, sees it happen, comes in after the fact, he will probably end himself. While she was in the hospital last year, we didn't stop him from doing it, like directly. You know, we didn't take the gun out of his hand, or, you know, knock the bottle of pills out of his hand or whatever, but we could tell he was on the edge because he thought Mom wasn't going to ever come home. He was already kind of in that mindset. And I've worked with and been around people who were suicidal before, and I was seeing a lot of the warning signs from my dad. So that was not a great place to be, not a cool thing to witness. But I know what I witnessed. So yeah, I mean, if something happens to my mom, my dad's, they're both going to go in the same night. That's kind of my thought there. Just because that's how it's going to play out. My dad's not in a good place mentally, so, and I can't fix him, you know. And if something happens to my dad, I don't know, my mom's not going to react well. I mean, if something happens, especially like right in front of her or whatnot, which the way my dad won't slow down and should slow down, you know, my mom could have a medical event to counter his. But we both, my wife and I both, feel that when it happens to one, it's going to happen to the other, if not immediately within the next couple days, just because they've been together for, you know, close to 60 years. It's, and I know there's some couples that have been together that long that can still function without each other. They can't. They can't. So, I'm expecting it. But I'm gonna make some dinner and get some sleep and get up at a stupid hour and go put some boxes on a shelf, get my kid to a doctor's appointment, and everything will be fine. Yeah, on one occasion this past week, and I probably mentioned it in another recording, but I don't know that for sure, getting Alex to work and back again, I walked basically 16 miles in the Florida sun. And I did not encounter the shortness of breath thing, whatnot, so I'm getting my cardio in, that's for sure. But again, from an emphysema standpoint, I'm starting to adjust to the idea, even though I still don't like it, terminal disease and all. But yeah, I'm starting to think maybe I can beat this. And I did see a few more videos from like medical professionals who talk about how quitting smoking kind of stops the progression almost in its tracks, and I really hope that's what I think. I don't know though. So, and I know I still have to be careful as far as like being around people with, I definitely don't want to catch pneumonia. That can kill me, even more so than the average bear. Any kind of lung infection, whatnot, can put me down. So I gotta be careful about that. Make sure I'm wearing a mask when I'm out, in petri dish conditions, crowded lobbies and things like that. But yeah. So that should catch everybody up. I'm sure I'll have more to talk about later, because this week's going to be interesting. Bunch of appointments and trying to get stuff done, and maybe we'll have a car again soon, and it'll be exciting. It'll be great. Alright, I'm going to sign off for now. I've rambled long enough. Make it a great day.